What is your motivation? You wake up in the morning.
Well, obviously one has to earn a living, so there is the fun. No, it's going in and it's really enjoying the people that I work with, enjoying meeting people. And, you know, my job's basically talking to people all day, and I think that's a great job.
How did you get to where you are today?
Oh, yeah. Well, I did a geography degree, actually, so I was really interested. I sort of thought I was going to go off and do some sort of sustainable development type of work, but of course I didn't. We were just talking earlier, actually. I walked into the job centre in King's Cross to find out about getting a job, and ended up working in the job centre. And that's how I got into HR as it is. So, yeah, by default, really. But I guess it was just something that I was naturally good at.
Right.
And so it became easy for me to do.
You must meet lots and lots of people. Tell me about a time your worst interview.
Oh God, there are so many.
Choose one. Choose one.
I suppose
Clearly not mentioning names.
The really amusing ones are where the candidates try and crack onto you.
Seriously? Choose one. So what has somebody said to you?
Well, I guess there was a very big guy, like he was really sort of, you know, about 6'7", big strapping guy, and he sort of
a hiker.
You were very aware of his presence in the room, and he was very, very intimate with me throughout the interview. And at the end of the interview, he touched me and went like this, and so I said, "Thank you, Linda." It was really. But you get a lot of flirtatious behaviour, but I mean, you get ridiculous people as well. Like, you have a few stalkers and people who send you things consistently afterwards for ages. So.
What are some of the things that people do to stalk?
Oh, there was one guy, actually, it was quite sad. We found out in an interview about the fact that his aunt had brought him up, and clearly this interview was an opportunity for him to express himself and get some things off his chest. And so his aunt had brought him up, and he wasn't doing well in his career, and it was all a very difficult interview, so I ended it trying to just be really distant. And then he would just send me paper clippings for ages and would write to me and tell me how good he was and what press articles he'd read that he thought I might find of interest. And it was just...
And this is an hour-long interview.
It was just bizarre. I mean, it carried on for months. The girls at work kept on saying he was going to stand outside the office and stalk.
It never happened.
No, it didn't.
When you wake up in the morning, what motivates you to come to work?
What do you mean?
Coffee. My family.
A challenge.
When you were 14, where did you see your journey being?
I had no idea, and I still have no idea. One of the things I say to my callers is that you can either let life happen, or you can make life happen, and it's a choice you have to make about your situation. I'm quite happy to sit back and let life happen and see where it takes me, whereas some other people want to make life happen for themselves, whether that be they want to be multi-millionaires or you know, living in castles and palaces or whatever. I'm quite happy to sit back. I have no goal.
Right.
I wake up and I think, whatever today presents itself, I'll work through today and then I'll worry about tomorrow. So, at 14, I just wanted to be happy.
Right.
And I'm happy.
So you're really passionate about gay and lesbian counselling service. What do you get out of it? Counselling is something that you love doing. What do you get out of it?
Paying back the community.
Right.
I was actually a client of the Gay and Lesbian Counselling Service. I actually used their service.
Yep.
And once I got my head together and my path was finished, I thought, right, how can I repay this service? I can become involved. So what I did there was I did the training, and now I counsel on the lines, and I hear people, you know, once or twice a week, and I do my shifts and I listen to them and I hear about their coming out stories. And like I said, we never give advice. It's not our purpose to live somebody else's life, but it's our purpose to clarify issues, if I can put it that way, and so they can see things a little bit more clearly and lead themselves down their own path.
So being gay and lesbian today is quite different from what it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. How many calls would you get today? It's, we'll say, in a week.
I challenge that. I think if you live in the 2010 postcode or in Newtown, it's changed dramatically. But if you live in Dubbo, I think it's the same as it was in 1968.
Okay.
I think our service provides an outlet and an avenue for people who don't live such a cloistered life.
Right, in a city, in any...
Oh, yeah, definitely.
In any city, whether it's in London or...
I'm Sydney,
America or Australia.
But that gay ghetto idea, I mean, it's still very strong in Sydney and many other international cities.
Tell me, I was reading an article recently that was talking about sexual orientation and sexual preference. What's the difference?
I personally have a really real political difficulty with the word sexual preference because I challenge anyone to say that you choose who you're sexually attracted to. I mean, I suppose if you threw me on a desert island for 20 years with one female, I probably would choose to have sex with her. But I would find it very difficult. I'm going to be honest, and yeah, I would find it very difficult.
Present companies.
Let's book our plane tickets.
See ya.
So I think sexual preference is a really misused term, and I think it's really erroneous. I don't choose who I'm sexually attracted to. It was something that I was born with, and something that I've developed and nurtured. I think. I mean, the most common question I ever get asked about my sexuality is, "How did you know you were gay?" And I always say to them, "Well, how did you know you were straight?"
Right.
And they're like, "Well, I've never thought about it." And well, it's the same for me. I've never actually thought, "Why am I gay?"
What motivates you to go to work?
I enjoy it.
I don't understand.
Oh, it's intellectually stimulating most of the time. Probably the people I work with.
Why do you come to work?
For money.